Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Serlin Sarah Maulani, student registration number 191230-160 from class TBI 6E. Here I would like to present my research proposal entitled The Utilization of cake Application for Improving Students' Listening Comprehension. There are several chapters that I will discuss. The first is Introduction, Theoretical Frameworks, and Methodology. In the chapter 1 introduction, there is a background of study. In this era, we have to know English, although not as whole, because English will be very useful to help us know what is happening in this world or international news. And if you want to study abroad, you have to take the TOEFL or IELTS, where there is a listening test, and you have to understand what other people say so that there are no misunderstandings. And films from abroad are films that are of great interest to Indonesian citizens. With our good listening skills, it will certainly make it easier for us to watch the film. And learning from school alone is not enough to help children learn English, especially listening. And self-taught English can also help children improve their English language skills. We can learn through online applications that we can download via our own cell phones. And the next is identification problem. The first is learning English through textbooks is not very helpful for students, especially in listening. So they need to learn independently from outside other than school. And feeling less confident when listening without subtitles for fear of misunderstanding. And the last is must listen carefully or must be repeated in order to understand what the other person is saying. And the next is focus of the study. Researchers focus on the effect of using cake application in improving students' listening comprehension. The next is research question. How can cake application improve listening comprehension? And objective of the study to determine how the use of cake application in improving listening comprehension. And the next is significance of study. The first is for researcher. The researchers shows the importance of additional learning from outside or through learning application other than only from schools in improving listening skills. And this can be an opportunity for the author to apply the knowledge that the author has and can be a reference for further research related to learning English through application. And for students, with this research, it is hoped that students will know more about learning English that can be done self-taught through application other than learning from school books, so they can increase their interest in learning. And for teacher, with this research, it is hoped that it can add research reference to learning English. And previous study, there are two previous research related to this study. The first is by Anissa Fitria Asri Dwi Maulidianti Salwa Nur Muhammad Safitri 2021, student at Surya Kancana University, in their journal entitled The Implementation of Cake Application in Learning English Speaking Skills. This study only focused on speaking skills. The second is by Ayu Oktavianita Nurizkia Fitri Ravinazli Muhammad Taufik Ihsan 2022, students at State Islamic University of Sultan Syarif Kasim Riau, Indonesia, in their journal entitled The Effectiveness of Using Cake Application in Improving Students' Speaking Skills. This research also only focused on speaking skills. Based on the discussion on the previous research, it can be concluded that there is a difference to this study. This is because this research focused on listening comprehension. And in chapter 2, there is theoretical frameworks. There are several parts like listening skills, the problems of teaching listening skills, the practice of teaching listening, kinds of listening, mobile application, and cake application. And the next is hypothesis. Hypothesis on this study is HO. There is no improvement in students' listening comprehension by using the cake application. And HA, there is an increase in students' listening comprehension by using the cake application. The next is chapter 3. There is research method. In this study, researchers use experimental research. The experimental design carried out in this study was using the one-group pre-test post-test designs, which is a form of pre-experimental design involving only one group and no comparison or control group. And the place and time of this research will be conducted in SMPN 9 Serang City, which is located on Jalan Raya Pandeglang, no kilometer 5, Karundang, Kecamatan Cipocok Jaya, Serang City, Banten, 42125 in July 2022. Okay, the next is data collecting. The first is pre-test. Pre-test, a test given to determine their initial ability before being given treatment. And the next is post-test. A test is given to determine their ability after being given treatment. There's an increase or not. And the last is interview. Several questions were asked directly to respondents in order to obtain information from what was previously obtained. Interviews conducted by researchers assist with recorder. This recording device is used for cross-checking if at the time of analysis there is data or information that was not recorded by the researcher. Okay, the next is data analysis. The first is descriptive statistical data analysis. This analysis is used to provide an empirical overview of the data collected in the study. Descriptive statistics are statistics used to analyze the data by describing the data which has been collected as it is without intending to draw conclusion applies to general or generalization. And data analysis techniques to describe data in percentage and average or means. And the next is inferential statistical data analysis. Inferential statistic is a technique or tool used to prove the truth of a theory probabilities used in social science research. It is also mentioned that inferential statistics are statistics used in social research as a tool to analyze data for explanatory purposes. This means that the statistical model is only used for generalization purposes. In other words, this study aims to test the research hypothesis. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.